In recent history, the Bank of Industry, through a relentless adherence to best practice, has steadily maintained an impressive growth in its risk assets. The 57th AGM was not a bad outing at all, as the bank recorded its most impressive performance to date in 2016 by posting double-digit growths in almost all aspects of its operations, with about 66 billion naira disbursed to hundreds of small, medium and large enterprises in Nigeria. Even though it's a wholly owned government institution, the Bank of Industry is not one to rest on its oars. The 2017 financial year promises a much better delivery on an ambitious target. We are now here to find out at the 58th Annual General Meeting of the Bank of Industry held at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel in Abuja. The day began with groups of tete-a-tete and exchange of pleasantries amongst the BoI's executive management and other stakeholders. In this room are representatives of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, chairman and members of the BoI Board of Directors, auditors, shareholders, and other stakeholders. Once the quorum is formed and everyone is seated, the company secretary, Mr. Aliyu Sadat, sets the program rolling with the notice of the meeting.
To receive the accounts of the company for the year ended 31st December 2017, together with the report thereon of the directors and auditors of the company, to elect directors, and thirdly, declaration of dividend, fourth, to appoint auditors of the company until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting of the company, and with the accounts are to lay before the members, and to authorize the director to freeze their remuneration. Special business, appointments of director, and fix the nominations of director. Note, a member entitled to attend and vote at the general meeting is entitled to appoint a proxy who need not to be a member of the company to attend and to vote instead of himself. All instruments or proxies shall be deposited at the registry office of the company no less than 48 hours before the time of voting is reached.
Thank you, Company Secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby declare this meeting duly convened and properly constituted.
After declaring the meeting duly convened and properly constituted, the new chairman, Board of Directors, Bank of Industry, Mr. Aliyu Dikko, presents the annual statement.
In spite of the challenging operating environment, I am pleased to announce that the group's total assets improved by 4.5% from 682 billion to 713 billion between the year 2016 and 2017. The group's total equity also rose to 241 billion in 2017 from 219 billion in 2016. While profit before tax also increased to 26.3 billion from 16.9 billion in the same period, representing a growth of 55.6%. The bank's disbursement profile in the year also improved significantly to 112.5 billion from 65.9 billion. That was achieved in 2016. Lending to micro, small, and medium enterprises also increased hugely to 29.5 billion when compared to 8.2 billion in 2016, an increase of more than 200%.
Also in the year, the BoI board witnessed the appointment of new members, key amongst which are the chairman of the board and the managing director.
The bank's new 11-member board of directors led by my humble self as the chairman, was inaugurated by the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enalama, in the year. The new members are Mrs. Femi Edun, Mrs. is inclusive of all of them, Bakari Wadinga, representing the Federal Ministry of Finance. Yeah, this serves as your own introduction.
Akintola Williams Deloitte is the official independent auditor for the Bank of Industry's financial, consolidated and separate statement for the outgone year. So they present their report to the shareholders and management of the bank.
The consolidated and separate statements of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, consolidated and separate statements of changes in equity, consolidated and separate statements of cash flows for the year then ended, notes to the consolidated and separate financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of the Bank of Industry Limited as at 31st December 2017, and the consolidated and separate financial performance and statement of cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, the Companies and Allied Matters Act, the Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of consolidated and separate financial statements section of our report. We are independent of the group in accordance with the requirements of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria Professional Code of Conduct and Guide for Accountants, ICANN Code, and other independence requirements applicable to performing audits of financial statements in Nigeria. We have fulfilled our ethical responsibilities in accordance with the ICANN Code and in accordance with other ethical requirements applicable to performing audits in Nigeria. The ICANN Code is consistent with the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, Parts A and B. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Page 14. Report of other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the 6th Schedule of Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 LFN 2004, we expressly state as follows. We have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. The group has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears for our examination of those books. The group and company's financial position and its statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account and returns. The bank has complied with the requirements of the relevant circulars issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria in accordance with Circular BSD/1/2004 issued by the Central Bank. Details of insider-related credits are as disclosed in Note 36. No contravention of the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act by the group came to our knowledge during the year ended 31st December 2017.
With the report presentation out of the way, the chairman raises a motion for other stakeholders to adopt the report as read, should they find it agreeable.
I move that the director's report and the statement of accounts for the year ended 1st December 2017, now submitted to the meeting, be and is hereby received and adopted. Would a shareholder second this motion, please?
My name is Billy Kwan, representing the Ministry of Finance and Cooperative. Second the motion.
And next comes the moment everyone's been looking forward to, declaration of dividend.
In view of the adoption of the accounts
I hereby propose the dividend to the tune of 1.5 billion to the meeting. Would a shareholder second this motion, please?
I, Alice Carroll, representing the Central Bank of Nigeria, second the motion.
I now put the motion to the shareholders. Would all those who are in support of this motion signify by raising their hands, please? Thank you very much. The motion is unanimously carried. Thank you.